Hello, Bill Mead here again, and I wanted to take a look at a couple more of these projects, specifically Project 13 and Project 16, just because I think there's some key points in sort of the development of this project that I think are kind of interesting. Project 13 made a small step forward, but it was kind of an important one in that when these programs start, I have 7 color schemes, and it can pick one of those color schemes. And up until this point, to get a different color scheme, you basically had to restart the program. So with Project 13, what I have it doing is once it finishes a fade out cycle of fading out these elements that it's adding to the screen, once it finishes this fade out cycle, it's going into a fade out cycle now. Um, Now it's starting to add shapes back in again. It could pick a new color scheme. And we can see that down here in the code. So this is our fade out function where it's fading the elements out, and it'll go through the fade out function here. And once it's done with the fade out function, I have this colors variable here, which is defined further up the page as a global variable. And then it's going into the color scheme and getting potentially a different color scheme there. So to me, that's making this particular project kind of a key point in this process, because each time it runs, each time in the process of it running, it could be creating things using one color scheme and then switch to a completely different color scheme and start building on top of that. Okay, and all of this is really a process of trying to get to more different types of designs. So after that, I started building in more different types of shapes that it could make. I wanted to put borders on boxes and give them different colors and maybe even different types of borders. Dashes and circles and solid borders are all ways in which I could get more variety into the types of designs that it could make. So in number 16, because of all of these different types of shapes, the create box function was getting quite long and crowded with all of these different options and things. So in number 16, what I decided to do was to start to break out that create box function into some subfunctions. So down here you can see I have some functions here for adding a simple box or a simple circle or a letter or a word. And those functions, those helper functions, get called inside of the create box function. And you can see I've removed the add simple box function and doubled up the border box because I really wanted to see how that would look in this iteration. So those are some of the things that I'm working on, or was working on at this point, to try to get more variety and a greater range of possibilities into the compositions that are being created in these functions.